welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live. Man, why you clapping like that, man?
Man, the clap, man. Hercules.
Yeah, I knew you was going to do that. I was like, man, I'm looking at that. I'm like, that's a real funny style looking clap, but I'm not even. You do what you do, man. But yeah, welcome into another episode of the Format Podcast Live. This is I don't know if we're going to be in the habit of doing this throughout the season, but first two games.
Get us popping, get us started.
We might. We're going to talk about that. But first two games of the season to kind of open things up, these late night games, we're deciding to do instant reactions and talk about these games right after they happen. So appreciate you for joining us. But before we get into all that, as you can see, Eagles versus Packers. You know what time it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait. So there we go. So let's get right to it. Transformer. So obviously we know second game of the season, the Friday night special from lovely Brazil. Well, I don't know how lovely it was. These guys were warned not to leave the hotel and all that. But I've had friends who traveled to Brazil and they said Brazil is not, it's not nearly as bad as they try and make it out to be. And some people from overseas might say America's just as bad with all these mass shootings and all that, right? And there's a lot of cities in the United States. If you're not from there, you probably shouldn't walk around without escort. But let's go ahead and get right to it, man. Let's talk a little bit about I hear you. It's not that serious. I feel you. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this Eagles and Packers game. Let's unpack that a bit. And you know what? Since the Packers are your squad, Transformer, I'm going to let you go right ahead, open up, give us your initial thoughts on this game, and we'll take it from there.
Initial thoughts on this game.
Yes, sir.
NFL doesn't
initial
belong
thoughts
to
on this L your team took, but go ahead.
No. Let's talk about the game. All right. But yes, we took an L.
Yes.
I'm mad.
Just like we did last night.
We took an L. You know what I mean? It was a close game, hard fought. From both sides of the field. But speaking of the field, we don't belong in Brazil if that's going to be the turf. That can't happen. Like that first half was extremely sloppy. The field was extremely slippery. I mean, like Jordan Love alone had 5 slips. I believe Jalen Hurts had a couple of slips. Like everybody, it was just sliding all over the place, man. So I think that's just very unsafe to be up front. But it's harder to play any type of defense, run routes, take off running, stop on a dime and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. I mean, that field was kind of crazy. But moving on to the game, man, it was a good game, good opening game. I felt like we came in to start the game with kind of a mission, on the defensive side of the ball in the first couple of drives, but on the first couple of drives on the offensive side of the ball, couldn't get the ball in the end zone. And I think I made this post here on Facebook. We're not winning the game winning field goals. You're just not, man. I mean, I think when you get short fields, Jalen Hurts starts off with a pick, and then I believe the next possession was a fumble, and we get the ball right there in the red zone, and we just can't cash it in. And a lot of that had to do with getting behind the sticks. Get behind the sticks early with holding calls, flags, and you're putting your team at a disadvantage, especially in the red zone, because now the field is shorter. The defense could be a little bit more tighter, playing these receivers, and defensive line doesn't have to hold up as long because you're not running long routes. So, I mean, that came out of the gate a little bit. A whole lot slower than what I expected. Our first 2 drives getting field goals, and all of a sudden Philly goes down to get a touchdown. Now they got the lead. So basically, all those first possessions that you did on the offensive side of the ball, you got nothing for it because it just got canceled out that fast. So, kudos to the Eagles team, the defense. They did what they needed to do when the time was right. The end of the game, Jalen Hurts just put it away. I mean, that's what your veteran quarterbacks need to do. Veteran teams need to do, run the ball. He was scrambling out of pocket. My defense did a great job on him in the first 3 quarters. Not letting him get out of the pocket, not letting him break off for some long runs that he normally does against us, because he normally runs the ball. I mean, he gets about 60, 70 yards on average when he plays against us, but we held him to a standard. But the end, Jalen Hurts did what he needed to do to get his team the W. Prayers for my quarterback. Hopefully, I mean, I don't think the injury was that serious. Maybe a little tweak here and there. I don't see him missing a lot of time. He was able to get up, hobbled a little bit, but from the fall, I didn't see it to be egregious enough to be a serious injury, maybe a sprain or something like that. So, it is what it is on that. Defensively, man, I mean, we were awful. I mean, when you have 4 straight possessions on, for Philly, and you're cashing in touchdown, field goal, touchdown, that's bad. That's bad juju. You can't get it done that way. We did a little bit better in the second half, but then in the second half, I saw Jordan Love just get a little careless with the ball and where he was throwing it. He was missing some simple routes with receivers. I believe Dobbs had one, Reed had one. He just couldn't get the ball on target, and that would have extended the drive and got us a great possession. But all in all, man, it was a good game, man. It wasn't a blowout. I was expecting about a 7, maybe 10-point Philly win. I thought Philly was gonna, pull away and get a good W, but we made it close, and we were literally in the fighter's chance, man. I believe if my kicker doesn't miss that field goal prior to the last one, I mean prior to the one that he made, the last one, I mean, we have a lead. Now we're putting the pressure back on Philly, and we probably got a different ball game, but it was a good game, man. I got nothing bad to say about Philly. Penalties was all over the place. I see y'all putting that in the chat. It was all over the place, man. We had a lot of holding calls. It was a lot of egregious holding. The late flag on Jair Alexander, I didn't like that. That was a bad holding call. But that's football, man. You're gonna have bad calls. You're gonna have some good calls, and not that timely. So I'm not gonna make no excuses for my team. Defense didn't do what they needed to do to get the ball back, to give us a chance. And Jordan Love with a miraculous throw at the end of the game, but next play he gets hurt, and we don't have that shot to take it at the end zone. So, it is what it is, man. It's a L, but I got nothing too bad to say about game 1 in Brazil. So
I'll say, well, real quick, one of the things that stood out to me, this is much less important, but it was an odd sound hearing the I guess the Brazilian announcer in the stadium, being able to hear that so clearly on the broadcast. It just sounded strange. I don't know. I've never heard anything like that in an American football game before. And that's even including, obviously the NFL goes, they play in Germany. Maybe that's because I lived in Germany for a few years, but that doesn't even sound as odd as it did in you could clearly tell, like, that's a soccer announcer. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a totally different sound that sounded just so alien to American football. But that's beside the point. So, so this is interesting. 2 of the really good young quarterbacks in the league played tonight, and between the 2 of them, 3 interceptions. Hurts was like disappointing in his ball security. One fumble and 2 picks. So it's like you really got to clean that up. If the Packers were better able to take advantage of those turnovers, Philly would have lost that game because of Jalen Hurts' turnovers, right? Don't get me wrong. Overall, the percentages were good: 20 for 34, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, right? That's solid. Saquon Barkley, real good introduction to.
Oh man, he balled out.
Right, to the Eagles, 3 touchdowns in his opening game. I believe he's only the second Philadelphia Eagle to do that. The first was T.O., and we know that when T.O. joined the Eagles, they made it to the Super Bowl, almost beat the Patriots, right? Almost doesn't count. But the point is they had a great run that season. So Saquon, clearly, if he can stay healthy, was a major addition to that team, and that should work out quite well. Josh Jacobs, very solid game overall. 16 carries for 84 yards. That was the pickup. I remember we discussed that earlier when we were kind of giving our season outlooks, and I thought that would be huge. I thought that would help Jordan Love a lot, and we can see that it's going to, as these guys get more and more used to playing together on the same team, and more used to that scheme. In terms of Josh Jacobs, obviously Jordan Love's been in that scheme for years, but Josh Jacobs. So that I think was a really good pickup, and you saw the pluses. We saw how beneficial that could be to that team. We saw Jordan Love, man. The guy can make some throws. He is mobile. He's got a huge arm, and it looks like every throw he makes looks effortless, and that's
and it's
crazy.
off platform.
Right?
The man don't get set for nothing.
Right.
He
so
comes and he steps up in the pocket. His one foot off the ground, the other foot up, and he's just launching it.
Appreciate you, Michael Fox. Appreciate you stopping in, brother. If you haven't already, man, click that like and subscribe on the way out. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Good dub tonight, bro. Good game.
Yeah, definitely. So I noticed I saw Tyler was good, Tyler, in the chat here, and couple of people in the chat, or as you mentioned, Transformer, talking about the penalties. And I think one of the things that's so in the first two games we've seen a lot of penalties, and I'm not sure if it's the officials trying to impose their wills and say, hey, this is what we're going to allow and this is what we're not, this is where the points of focus are, or if it's the function of this whole new thing of, so you're not getting those real game time reps in order to kind of work those kinks out. Hopefully as the season goes on, 2-3 games, a lot of those you'll see less and less of those penalty calls. That's what I'm hoping. So we'll see. But I
didn't really see a lot of bad calls. I mean, now the Ravens game, I mean, it kind of got outrageous. I mean, we get it. You implemented a new rule, the way the offensive line, the tackles have to be, I think their helmet has to be in line with the center's belt. So they're kind of getting used to that. So it was a lot of calls that you were like, oh, okay, all right, we get it. You're imposing your will, but let's relax a little bit. I mean, I really didn't see no bad calls in this game. I saw like the one at the end of the game. Well, I think it was a defensive holding on Jai Alexander, and they replayed it, and you literally saw nothing. But other than that, I mean, every call, I mean, I think was warranted on both sides. I'm not picking just my team here, but even on I think we had a bad one. I believe my tackle had a little acting job. Did a little pass out when one of the Philly defenders kind of pushed him, and we got a flag for that. So I mean, other than that, I mean, really wasn't any bad calls. It was just a little bit of sloppy play. A lot of that was thanks to the turf. People trying to keep people in front of each other. So like, I got to grab them a little bit if I at least want to stay there and not slide the ball all over the field. But yeah.
So interesting. I think I heard Skip Bayless say that I think I heard him or not heard him say, but saw him tweet that this game was a preview of his pick for the NFC Championship game. I thought that was interesting. Green Bay and Philly. A lot of people very high on Green Bay. I think they have all the tools necessary. They've got good coaching. They've got a young quarterback. Now they've got the running back. The defense will shore itself up over time. Remember, they got a new DC, so they're learning that scheme and putting that in place. Yeah, that's right. But I think when we talked about it, remember, I chose Detroit to repeat as division winners in the NFC North. And so I would have a hard time putting Green Bay ahead of them in terms of the race to the NFC Championship game. And of course,
not mad at that.
Yeah, of course, you still got the Niners out west, who are still kind of the resident bullies of the conference. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't anticipate Green Bay getting to the conference championship game, but like I said, they have everything that it takes to make that happen. In terms of this game, though, Jayden Reed, man,
hey, that boy was flying.
Special.
That kid was flying.
Yeah,
he was looking very worthy-esque out there, man, with the jet sweep. And I've seen him do it. I mean, we ran that play a lot last year. It was always Reed. They got the call on that sweep, and he found that seam and he was gone. Like you could do nothing with him. And then the second one, I mean, granted, and this is why I said it was a lot of the field was bad because the defender did slide. I give him a little bit of credit. He did slip. It wasn't much he could do to stay in front of Reed, but I mean, that kid Reed is a dog, man. I mean, we have a bunch of number twos that all together make some great ones if you combine them together, man. So that kid's got it, man. That kid's got it.
Yeah, he definitely does. So just looking at this game, I think again a little bit sloppy, and not necessarily physical sloppy, but like we mentioned the field, everyone's talked about the field and a lot of slipping and sliding going on. But Jalen Hurts is still demonstrating that, he's got these weapons, and given the opportunity, he can put the ball in places where his weapons can take advantage of that. However, you got to clean up the turnovers, man. Got to clean up the turnovers.
Got to.
You're not going to win very many games in the NFL turning the ball over 3 times. That's not going to make it. So these are things that he's got to think about. But I tell you, Saquon is, man, that was a great pickup.
He's a problem, man. I mean, I'm literally looking at him gash, and it's where he needs to do it at, in the red zone. He got in the red zone, man. He was making big plays. I mean, we were doing what we could in the middle of the field. We were shorting him up to about 3-4 yard runs, but man, the moment that red zone came, it was a wrap. He's finding it. He's finding the seam. He's getting in the gaps, and he's shooting right up. He's shooting north. ASAP.
I really can't imagine why, if you're the Giants, you allow this dude to get away in division. Like, I don't get that.
I mean, he was a free agent.
But then you do what you got to do to ensure that he doesn't get away in the division.
You sign and trade him. Hey, no. We're gonna sign you. Yeah, we'll sign you.
Yeah, you do something because he's gonna punish them.
Yeah.
As long as he stays healthy, he's gonna be, when he's healthy, let's say this. What's a good analogy? He's C-Mac light when he's healthy. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, because he can catch out of the backfield. He can do literally pretty much everything that C-Mac does. Yeah.
Right. Just
very explosive. He has power, quickness. Right. He can catch out of the backfield. He can be a receiver. You saw him catch that the first touchdown of the game. I mean, Jalen Hurts threw a dot, and he literally had the awareness for that toe tap. Like, hey, put them feet down, get in 10 bounds, right? And yeah. So I mean, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, C-Mac light. I think that's fair. So, but again, he has to stay healthy, and that's always the key when it comes to football, right? When we have these discussions, we always just kind of assume health. But I guess I don't know if you can really do that, because we know that people are going to get injured, especially people who have been quote unquote injury prone during their careers. And that's tough, because you don't want to wish that on anybody. But if there's a history of it, you kind of come to expect it from certain guys. So that's tough. AJ Brown, big night, 5 for 119, big night. Devonta Smith, 7 for 84. Man, that Jalen Hurts got everything he needs, man. That's another team. Man, I tell you, some of these teams here, it's amazing how loaded they are. You know what I'm saying? And this is going to be a really fun season. Absolutely, Tyler. You're 100% right. And that's kind of where I was going to. Eagles' offensive balance is crazy. A lot of ways to beat you. And that's absolutely true.
And they got a good coordinator, man. I mean, Kellen Moore, I mean, the slack that he got from Dallas, but when he was the coordinator in Dallas, them folks were like number 1, number 2 offenses in the league. He goes over there to the Chargers. I mean, they had a lot of injuries. I mean, Herbert was hurt last year. So, I mean, he really didn't have the time to implement a scheme. But, I mean, you saw what Kellen Moore can do with an offense when he has a quarterback, running back, a couple of receivers. So Jalen Hurts definitely fits that mold. Mobile, he can get mobile. He can throw the ball. You got 2 legit receivers. You got a great tight end in Goddard, and now you got Saquon Barkley. So you're putting all the tools in the belt for Jalen Hurts to be successful.
Tyler, you're right. I forgot about that.
He did play.
Washington Commanders, another idiot team letting the talented guy get away in division.
I forgot about that. They traded him out there. He played.
Yes, he was out there, but 1 target, no catches.
Yeah,
so,
he played.
Yeah. But I mean, imagine when he gets familiar with the scheme and gets comfortable.
Yeah. True. So that puts him 3 receivers deep with Goddard, with Barkley, who can line up in the slot. Catch him at the top of the play.
Yep.
That's dangerous, man. And then you
and
still have the playmaking ability.
Florida State, like they got some guys over there, man. They got some guys. For those of you just coming into the chat, welcome. Appreciate you. Make sure you click that like and subscribe and that notification bell on the YouTube page. It's free and it helps us out. All right. Make sure you click that like button. Appreciate y'all. And leave it in the chat, man. Let us know you're here, where you're coming from, or say what you got to say. So I tell you what, these first 2 games of the NFL season, if this is any indication of what we're in store for the rest of the way, man, I'm so excited about what we got coming down the pike and what we're going to get, man. This is going to be, I think, a very special year. And I think also to your point, I don't think they're going to be going to Brazil again.
No, I mean it just wasn't it wasn't right. I mean, and then on top of that, not only was the field bad, but if you go on social media, they were mad at the network. Peacock, the only person that can show the game. Oh, they were flaming that. Like, you mean tell me people who bought Sunday ticket got all these type of streaming networks, but you only can stream it on Peacock. Come on, man.
The NFL.
You're doing a disservice to the fans, man.
People are going to get Peacock. The NFL doesn't care. They're like, if you want to watch it, sign up. They'll do it. I have Peacock, but people are going to sign up. Trust me. When they first started showing games on Peacock last year, people were saying the same thing, and a lot of people got Peacock.
Did they show games last year on Peacock?
Yeah.
Man, I must have missed out.
And now watch this, right? Most people have Netflix, but I'm sure there's a few who don't. Guess what? They're showing games on Netflix. I think the Christmas Day games are on Netflix this year. Yeah. People are going to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Amazon Prime folks that ended up getting Amazon Video.
So that's right. Yeah, they
know what they're doing, man. They know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Hey, get the streams up. So you remember all that? Cut the cable for cable. Cut the cord for cable.
Yeah.
They just like, hey man, get this stream, get this service, get this service. Add it all up. You're back to the same $300 bill that you were paying 2-3 years ago.
Yep. So check this out. Yeah. Your Packers next up is Indianapolis Colts. That's not going to be an easy game.
Is that I think that's at home though.
Yes. But
that's
you got
at home, but it's all about
Taylor. You got to deal with him. You got to deal with Michael Pittman. You got to deal with what's my man's name? Anthony Richardson. So Shane Steichen, he knows what it is. So that's going to be a very interesting game.
I got to deal with my quarterback if he's going to play. That's the ace in the hole right there. If he's not going to play,
about 10 days to get back, 9 days.
Yeah.
No. About just a little over a week, 8 days. 8 days.
Yeah. So depending on what that injury may be, that's going to determine whether he's going to play or not. So, if he plays, then that's a dub in Green Bay. But that's without question.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, people are hype on Anthony Richardson. I like, he's a good playmaker, but even in Florida, I didn't see anything. I saw him being timid, didn't know how to read defenses.
There wasn't enough time. We have like 6 starts in college or something like that.
Yeah, but I still didn't see anything. So I'm like, what are we seeing, or what did we see from even the short rookie stint he had last year that we're like, okay, the Colts are going to make that jump. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm a little iffy. Like, I gotta see, Anthony Richardson do something first. I haven't seen anything.
Right, I agree. Ayo, Bruce, man. First of all, good to see you in the chat. Appreciate you, man.
In the Super Bowl.
So we would love to see Baltimore in the Super Bowl, but let me ask you this, real talk. Objectively, take your fan goggles off. Objectively, please. What have you seen that leads you to believe that Baltimore is going to be in the Super Bowl? I'm not saying they can't get there. I would love to see it. But what have you seen that leads you to believe that they're going to be there? I really would like to know. Maybe you see something I don't, and I would love to hear it. So let me know. Here go G.
There you go, G, man. G, where you at, bro?
G's a drill,
where you at?
He's a drill.
Drill?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's he's doing his part to defend our great nation.
They're playing that Taylor Swift dancing around in the Green Bay.
I told you G is Swifty on the low, man. That's why he always bringing Taylor Swift up, man.
Him and the Swifties over there drill.
Don't make me get it. Don't make me put Taylor Swift on the button, man.
Oh, you better do it before I get a mixer. You better do it before I get a mixer. Out, man. Every time Z say something crazy, I'm playing. Taylor.
I know, right?
Go ahead, click Taylor.
No doubt. So let me ask you this: if you had to pick a turning point in the game tonight, or something that you felt was kind of a deciding factor or a key influence in the outcome of the game, what would you say it was?
Man, it was, I would say beginning of the fourth, where we had 2 back-to-back stops, right? We were praying all night to finally get a stop. Like, let's stop these guys from reaching the red zone, getting a field goal or a touchdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
We finally got the 2 stops.
Right.
And literally we got nothing done on offense. And I felt like that was just the blow to be like, oh man, come on, man. Like, we can't even get points at this point. Like at first, we were going back and forth. We're doing this back and forth. We finally getting the stops that we need to get. And, I think that's when Jordan Love, he had missed Jalen Reed on a play. He overthrew Dobbs on a play. We ended up getting another holding call that put us behind the sticks. And it's like, come on, man. Like, I think that was the point where it was just like, okay, Philly scored again. Like, we made a very good drive. The next drive, this when Josh Jacobs finally started turning up, had a couple of great carries, and then all of a sudden, holding call behind the sticks. Had to punt the ball away. You know what I mean? So I think that to me that was more the key. And then what made it worse was the field goal that we missed. Once we missed that field goal, it kind of it definitely put a damper into the game. So
yeah, it's tough. That final Eagles drive, I think it ended in a field goal. I don't think it got a touchdown, right?
Field goal, yeah. The field goal, yep. So it made it. They were up 5.
Yeah. Well, you like what you saw from Jalen Hurts on that drive? That's one thing about him. I think he's like he might not be the prettiest in terms of how he plays, or he's not Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes. However, he seems to get it done in big high leverage moments.
But the thing,
you agree with me on that?
His gameplay, like that's the style that you need to close out games. You know what I mean? A quarterback who can throw the ball, right? But you have a run game, and you have a running back. I mean, a quarterback who could be a running back in a sense. He could be your running back. He can scramble out of the pocket. He can go get you 4 or 5 yards. So I think he has the type of game that's perfect, especially for closing out.
Right.
Yeah. That was a great drive. Like I said, we stopped him. I think he had like 11 carries or something like that, and he had like 9 yards up until that last drive, and then all of a sudden. 8 yards here, 7 yards here. Then he got a big first down. He ran over my corner from Georgia, Eric Stokes. Took him with him, got a first down. I'm like, that's the type of quarterback you want at that point.
He's hard to bring down one-on-one, man.
Hard to bring down, man. I think he had 2 with him. He was just dragging him across the first down mark.
That's those 500-pound squats.
500, man. And he had 500 pounds worth of men, on his track trying to bring him down. He like, y'all can come with me. Come with me.
No, absolutely. So do you see man, we were just talking about new OC from Philly, used to be OC in Dallas.
Kellen
Moore, thank you. Boise State quarterback, one of the best college quarterbacks ever. But do we see him really being a difference maker for this Eagles offense? I think he may. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, bro. You got it.
I was about to say that I think that with the weapons he has, he can unlock different things that maybe weren't there before.
True.
But what as I understand it, he's not big on the RPO game, but if he's smart, he will employ that with a guy like Saquon and a guy like Jalen Hurts, and then again the weapons to the outside. Like that's just another thing that defensively you make the opposition have to account for. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, no, I like I said, I like the addition of Kellen Moore. Like we've seen what he done in Dallas with weapons, a quarterback with weapons in a run game. Kellen Moore, like I was watching plays, I'm like, God dang, that was a good play. That was a good call. I mean, like the way you're scheming up Devontae Smith to have a 10-yard dig, but AJ taking him over the top and pulling my safeties over. Your cross routes. Like I mean, he was calling a very, very, very good game. I was very impressed with him. But like I said, I've seen him do that in Dallas. The biggest thing that they're going to have to address is that Kellen Moore likes to play under center. Like if he ran out a lot in Dallas, and if you look at what Philly's used to, they used to run out of the shotgun. With Jalen Hurts. So, and I think that was almost cost them the game today. The fumble at the beginning of the game with they have a new center with Jerkins. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, because wasn't it Kelsey retired? That's
right.
Yeah,
Kelsey retired. So you had that fumble that they lost, and then you had a fumble at the end of the game where that could have been costly if Green Bay gets on top of that ball with a minute left, and now we're only down 2. So we could potentially go down and get a field goal to win a game.
That's right.
So I think just working on that, fixing that might have to run. Like I said, the RPO is definitely going to have to be in your tool belt. But I mean, from what I saw today, I mean, the offense looked good, definitely compared to last season.
Mm-hmm.
Was that me? Who was that? That was me.
Okay, I was like, I don't think it's me.
I think I hit my watch and it turned my phone on.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. And I like this comment here from Bruce saying Green Bay struck gold, Favre, Rodgers, and then Love, talking about a great organization. And I agree, because obviously they scout the quarterback position well. But I think the real thing here is with Rodgers and then Love, they are patient in allowing the quarterback that they draft to sit and learn and not rush him out there too quickly. Now, some guys are ready for it. Your CJ Strouds and what appears to be Caleb Williams appears to be, you get some guys who are ready as young guys to come in and really be that guy right away. But having the opportunity to just sit and learn with no pressure, clearly we see that it can still work. But most organizations aren't that patient, and most owners aren't going for that. Now, Green Bay doesn't actually have an owner, so you don't have somebody from the top. Right. You don't have somebody from the top leaning like, when is this guy I'm paying all this money to going to start? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get him out there. We got to take advantage of the rookie deal and blah, 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 which we've seen that work. It works for some people, but I guess it just depends on your situation. But
yeah, I mean, because the quarterbacks that you named, look at what they inherited. Houston, Tank Dell, you had some receivers and, and they're building upon that, especially among his second season. Caleb Williams is walking into a very great situation for him.
He may be walking into the best situation the number one overall pick ever walked into. It is absurd.
Man.
That's around him.
You get the kid out of Washington at receiver. You get Keenan Allen. You get DJ Moore. You get Devontae Smith. Come on, bro. I mean Swift. I said Smith. Swift.
Running back from Georgia. Yeah, Swift.
Yeah. So it's like, come on, man. What?
You got Cole Kmet at tight end. Like you got a lot. You got stuff to work with. Yeah.
You have a lot, man. You have the weapons.
Yes, sir.
Offensive line, you can tweak that a little bit, but when you got the weapons as a quarterback, you're like, oh yes, okay.
Yeah. We rarely see a number one overall pick come in with that type of, setup for success around him. So we'll see. It's about the coaching now. The OC Shane Waldron, I think he came from the Rams or the Seahawks, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. It's either the Rams or the Seahawks.
I think
Seahawks. I think so.
I think it was the Seahawks.
Yeah. He was with Geno. Yep. Edward Jackson says, could Jalen Hurts be a runner-up for MVP this year with his
not turning over the ball like that?
That I was about to say he gotta work on that ball security. But we've seen what was it 2 years ago? He would have been MVP if he didn't get injured near the end of the season. Yep. So Jalen Hurts clearly has the ability to do it, but I don't know, man. These young quarterbacks are so good now. And think about this: Joe Burrow's back. I'm a big believer in him. I don't know about Josh Allen this year because he's missing a lot of weapons now. But Joe Burrow's back. Obviously, you've got what's the kid in Houston, CJ Stroud. He's in discussion. Obviously, a Jordan Love. If he gets it going, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott. Like, there's a lot of guys who can. Lamar Jackson, of course. Patrick Mahomes. There's a lot of dudes who can be in that discussion. So we got to wait and see how it works out. Stafford can't stay healthy and he throws too many picks. But the point is, again, there are a lot of quality players at that position in the league now. So I wouldn't discount Jalen Hurts for being in the MVP discussion. But man, it's tough. It is tough.
Especially the way Barkley over there running that thing. At that point, they're going to be like, hey, Jalen, you ain't even got to throw it, bro. You just hand off, kill the game, kill the clock. They got, because I do see the potential, the way Kellen Moore is orchestrating that offense. They can get up pretty quick. You've seen first three drives, or three of the first four drives, they scored. They scored quick. Yeah. It was very, very quick. So, they can go up quick. And defense can hold their own and stop the other team from, get like 3-7 points. And you're up 21, and you got Barkley in the backfield with that offensive line, with those weapons, with Jalen Hurts. Jalen ain't gonna need to win MVP. It's gonna be Barkley just taking it on every game. So, yeah.
And I
don't see him.
Yeah, I think the other thing is we need to see on both of these teams, we need to see better defensive production. So the game was weird in that both of them forced turnovers, so that's obviously good. But on the whole, in terms of total defense, letting the opposition just go up and down the field, it was kind of like, okay, y'all need to lock in some. So that's why I said from the beginning, like, it was a kind of weird game to watch in terms of these things. What's Tyler saying? Hurts is going to get MVP momentum if you look at their schedule a month and a half before they play. Okay.
They could, but not with them turnovers, bro. Not if you turn over the ball like that.
But if you're playing bad teams, then you're probably not going to turn the ball over.
Okay, that's gotcha.
So,
but if you're playing bad teams, that means you're going to be up quick. Barkley's getting the ball, man. You got to think you now have a legit back that can just carry it 20, 25 times, like, and kill the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that predicates a lot of it to it. You know what I mean? So I don't think he will put up the godly numbers to get the MVP. That's my point. He could be a winning quarterback for sure. I don't think he's going to put up godly numbers to win it. Yeah.
So the next two games are pretty easy, Atlanta and then New Orleans, but Tampa Bay, I don't think is going to be a cakewalk, followed by Cleveland.
I think Atlanta's going to be a cakewalk.
I don't think they'll have any problems with Atlanta.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't see it.
I like Atlanta this year.
I don't see it. Tampa Bay, I think, is the tougher team in that division. And then you have, that's right. Then you have Cleveland, one of the best defensive teams in the league. Giants should be a rollover. Then Cincinnati, that's going to be a shootout, providing Joe Burrow's healthy. We know that.
So that's the next 5 games?
Next 5 games is Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, and the Giants. So they could lose 2 of those.
They could lose 2 of those. So what does he mean? Gaining momentum?
They could lose 10. They could lose to Tampa Bay and Cleveland. Even if you say they beat Tampa Bay in the revenge game, Cleveland is a very difficult matchup because of that defense.
And it's the following week.
Yeah, those are back to back. Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Yeah. This man. Good season coming up.
And they started it off right, man.
Like, they sure did.
The shootout, really you broke a record in viewership in the very first game with Kansas City and the Ravens, and that ended it went down to the last wire, and Cleveland off a bye.
Tyler don't miss anything. Yeah, he's got Cleveland off a bye. That's right.
This is what the chat is good for, guys.
This is what the chat is good for. Yeah, because I didn't even know that.
Real quick.
Yep, they played Tampa Bay on September 29th. That's my birthday. And then they play Cleveland on the 13th of October. So, yeah.
Okay, so they get 2 weeks.
Yep. Good stuff, Tyler. Appreciate it.
No. Man, gladly appreciate it.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, this is going to be good. It's going to be good. Looking forward to it. Anything you want to add before we open the phone lines up? Get some feedback in here from everybody?
Nah, man. Like you said, both teams need to. The biggest hole is the defense. The biggest problem with both teams was the defense. You can't go around giving each other 400 yards, 30 plus points. You know what I mean? But granted, that's kind of what the league is kind of, on its way to, high scoring games, quick explosive plays, and things like that. You mentioned, okay, Bruce, Libra gang. Oh, your birthday. Gotcha. I think my sister's a Libra, September 25th.
That's what's up.
But yeah, man. I mean, it's the defense. I mean, that's gonna need to, really put their hands in the dirt and get better, in my opinion.
Right.
Especially for my team. My team was awful.
I think both teams. I think both teams.
I'm just saying, especially my team, because I got you.
And
I'm watching them every weekend. I don't want to see us get torched on defense. Every weekend.
You got to tighten it up. And I'm sure Hurts is going to be looking at the film on the way home and all that, and they're going to be talking about it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very true.
All right, let's go ahead and, matter of fact, I'm going to put it in the chat, and it's scrolling on the bottom of the screen, 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Why don't you go ahead, give us a call, let us know your thoughts on this game tonight, and you can add in, whatever else you like, maybe where you see these two teams going this season, how you've enjoyed the first 2 games of the season, these 2 primetime games they've shown. Give us your thoughts. And also, again, if you're in the chat, you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe and that notification bell. Really appreciate you.
904-219-8264.
Here you go. Here you go. There's something wrong with you, man. You know that, right?
Hey, Eddie, I know Eddie. You and the it sound like he's losing his voice. No, man, it's pause. And that, I'm just gonna take a moment to think about my words before I say them. Mm-hmm. My response to G was gonna be outrageously bad. Let me just change the subject. I'll get to G later. Eddie, man, your Steelers play the Falcons game 1, bro. How we feeling? I know you in the chat, bro. How you feeling? You think the Falcons gonna beat you by 10 or 15? Which one? Because you're gonna lose. Steelers are gonna lose. They're gonna lose game 1. Yeah. So tell me your thoughts, brother. Old brethren of mine.
Steelers have no idea what their quarterback situation is. Russell Wilson may not be able to go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, yeah.
And they're in Atlanta, they're in that dome.
Edward, what's going on, brother? Thanks for calling the Format Podcast. What you got?
Fellas, how you doing, man? Hey, B, I'm being realistic, man. You know I'm a diehard Steelers fan. We got Jalen. Man, I haven't said that. We got Justin Fields starting. Hopefully, man, our defense will do all right, but you ain't got to put me out there like that. I ain't got to do that. It's all good, man. But I appreciate it. But tonight, man, all four both games, man, was really good. I liked penalties. It was really all four, both games, both things, all four games, penalties and everything like that. But hopefully everything goes well with Jordan Love because he did look good. So I do okay. That contract he played. Okay, he's showing the skills with that contract. He's doing good so far, but yeah, it was penalties on that. And Jair, I forget which play it was, but he did with they called holding it with AJ Brown, and I don't know how to consider that being a holding.
Yeah, it was a bad call.
I think it was like
very,
in the third
very bad
or fourth quarter. But
it was
it was a very bad call. I was like, what? I was like, what? That didn't even look like he was holding. But yeah, and then I just see that it was Jalen Hurts. The reason why I said that was about him being run over MVP, even though it was a turnover, I was just saying because how their OC from Dallas, how he made Dak look.
Yeah,
do that with Jalen Hurts this season.
But they also didn't have a Saquon Barkley in the backfield, though. They didn't have a top tier running back like that.
Wait, no, they did. Because remember, early in Dak's career, Zeke was that monster, right? Remember that. The whole reason that Dak got Offensive Rookie of the Year was because he was always ahead of the chains because Zeke ran for 1,600 plus yards that year.
But I don't think that wasn't Kellen Moore.
I believe it was Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore only been there since 2021.
I think it was Kellen. I think it was Kellen Moore.
I thought it was him.
And Dak rookie season?
I thought it was.
No way. I don't think Kellen Moore was there yet. Kellen Moore only been there for 3 years.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out. I'm gonna take a look. You might be
Tyler,
right.
Tyler, you on the thing? Come on, Tyler. Help us out, brother.
I'm looking it up right now too.
My fault. But yeah, Saquon Barkley, man, the Giants look like clowns for letting him go. I mean, I know he was a free agent and everything. They probably look at it because of his injury history. Y'all think it possibly be that with the Giants not wanting to pay him?
No, I think they just didn't want to pay him. Well, correction. They didn't want to pay him what he thought he could get and what he thought it was worth. That's two different things. I think they would have paid him, but they just didn't want to give him that. And as a matter of fact, I think that after he told them what Philly was going to do, they came back with an offer that was commensurate. But then he was like, nah, he just felt the disrespected piece. So, let's see.
He was a quarterback there. Then he became a quarterback coach.
Quarterback's coach in 2018.
Yeah, he was.
He might actually play behind Dak for a little bit.
Yeah.
Pause. Yeah, because if Dak came in the league in 2016.
Oh, there you go, Tyler. My bad. I ain't see your comment.
Yep, there you go.
He was a backup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't remember Kellen Moore being there that long as a coordinator. He was only there for 3 years as a coordinator.
Well,
he became the OC in 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the reason why I said it with Jalen Hurts, the way how Dak was his OC and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, because I was trying to say, if Saquon can play, keep continue on playing the way he's playing, could he be in the MVP discussion? But we all know that running backs don't get it.
Running backs don't get it. They get the AP
because
award.
think about it, if C-Mac didn't get it last year, no running back is going to get it going forward. Mm-hmm. It's just, and what I think they should do, in all seriousness, is do like college and create separate awards for the positions, right? Like how in college you got the Biletnikoff for the receivers, but then even the Heisman, which is the big one, that's pretty much become a quarterback award. But it sucks. They need to do something to be able to recognize these other positions, because it's as if you're not a quarterback, you mincemeat. You know what I'm saying?
True. For the most strategic, I mean, the most.
I was gonna say, was AP the last running back, last one outside of quarterback won an MVP?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah,
I think so. And was
even
that
when Derrick Henry got 2,000 yards? Like
was he a co-MVP?
I think he was outright. I think he had it outright that year.
I know he got comeback player of the year. Let's see.
Yeah, because he was up. I'm like, that's why I'm like, if Saquon keep playing the way he's playing, then yeah, he should be in that discussion. But we all know it's a quarterback award.
They'll give him the offensive player of the year award.
It sucks. Yeah, so he got in 2012. AP got MVP and offensive player of the year. That must have been the 2,000-yard season.
Well, quarterbacks that season, I think, was not even really doing that good that season. Probably that's why they gave him. I think that was
I think to get it as a non-quarterback, you have to do something that's just so ridiculous that they can't deny it, and that's hard because they're always going to attempt to pick a quarterback if they can, right? We know this. It's just how it is.
Like I said, we saw Derrick Henry get 2K, and then he wasn't even in the mention.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Tyreek Hill, and the numbers that he was putting up, he was mentioned, but he wasn't even on the final voting.
But who's giving him the ball though? You got to think about that too. Though. Like Tua was giving him the ball, so they're gonna say it was the quarterback was the.
Man, we know it was Tyreek Hill after the catch.
Yeah,
the way Tyreek was running, it was Tyreek after the catch. Nobody had Tua in any type of MVP discussion other than maybe some Miami Dolphin fans.
That wasn't happening, right?
But yeah, man, that's all I want to call. But yeah, I'm ready to watch the game, son. I'm being realistic, man. I think it's going to probably be a low scoring game. Our defense going to held it up and everything like that when we play the Falcons. But yeah,
I think that the defense is going to be crazy. Well,
y'all fellas have a good night. Keep continuing watching the show. All right, Transform, man. I love you, man.
I love you too.
I appreciate the call, man. Thanks so much.
Man, the Ravens passed up on him. Everybody passed up on AJ Brown. What he went in like the second round? Wasn't AJ Brown the second round pick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody passed up on him, brother. We all some fools.
Ole Miss, I think.
Out of Ole Miss.
So that
because him and Metcalf came out the same year.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. That real quick, that 2012 MVP season by Adrian Peterson, he only got that by having the second most rushing yards ever in the season with 2,097. That's 131 insane. Yards per game. He almost broke Eric Dickerson's record. He missed it by 9 yards.
That's what it takes to get MVP.
That's what it takes to get MVP if you're not a quarterback. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Like
you got to be there breaking a record.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback, all you do is, man, give me 35 touchdowns, a few interceptions, 4,000 yards here and there.
Right. You're in the discussion.
Man. Every quarter. No, I'm going to say every quarterback because league would be outrageous. But, like, you can name 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks that could do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, what AP did, come on, that was ridiculous that year.
You see clearly what the league wants and the direction that they're pushing this thing in. It is what it is. But, AJ Brown's the first bet. What?
I think he's just speaking on AJ Brown.
He's good, but first ballot, we gotta stop this. We gotta stop.
I ignored that part. I just looked at the dropping the ball by not selecting him. Everybody dropped the ball.
Bruce,
even Philly. I think that was like Philly's third pick.
Yeah,
I think they had like 2 first-round picks or something that year, man.
Wow, wait, he didn't get any MVP votes? You see this? Not one.
Yeah, didn't you hear me say that?
I didn't realize he got
2,000 yards, and he wasn't even in the mention for MVP.
I knew he wasn't going to get it, but I didn't know he got no votes. Yeah. Eagles Brother 92. What's good, Eagles Brother 92, man? Do me a favor. Appreciate you stopping in. Go ahead, click that like and that subscribe button, man. We appreciate that. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything, and it helps the channel out. And it keeps you notified whenever we drop stuff, man. Got a lot of good content on the channel. If you've never been here before, check it out, man. Appreciate that. Look at his numbers. So, Bruce, here's the problem, right?
Look at AJ. Oh, AJ Brown's numbers.
Yeah, he's saying he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. First of all, we know how hard it is to be a Hall of Famer at the wide receiver position. T.O. didn't make the Hall of Fame till what, the third time around?
Well, that was because of his off the field antics. Let's be honest.
Look at his numbers. That's not what Bruce said.
I mean, if we're going by numbers, T.O. should have been first. Like he should have been
no question. No question.
To be in the Hall of Fame, but we get why he got held out.
Isaac Bruce was not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's in yet. He might be in now.
The Rams receiver, right? Isaac Bruce. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't it take Chris Carter like 6 times to get in?
Yeah, so it took him a good minute.
Exactly. So there's a lot of super elite guys at the position who weren't first ballot Hall of Famers. That's all I'm saying. AJ Brown is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Plus, he got a lot of time left. So let's let it play out, man. One thing about the modern sports media, I don't know why we're so quick to try to throw everybody into the Hall of Fame. We got to chill with that, man. The Hall of Fame is a very, very special place, man. Let careers play out, and then we see what it is. Like, we got to stop doing that.
Yeah, you can't be in the Hall of Fame, and we only got 4,000-yard seasons so far. That's not Hall of Fame. Like, you got to be. I think it's like 7-8 years. You have to do that.
Yeah, you got to do it a lot.
And touchdowns got to be up there.
Right. You got to have a ton of touchdowns, ton of yards, ton of all. How many all pro selections, that's the thing, not just Pro Bowls, but the all pros too. So AJ Brown is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, not at all. But that doesn't mean he's a bum. That just means he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. And that's the other problem. If you in the modern sports landscape, if you say that somebody is not something, it's you hate that man. You're saying no. You're just providing a different context. Chris Carter had behavior issues. You all know that. Stop it. Yeah, but behavioral issues has never been a barrier to getting into the Hall of Fame in the NFL. Never. How many dudes in the NFL was beating up their wives? Lawrence Taylor, his teammates literally had to go get him out of a crack house before football games. Like, in the NFL, behavioral issues is totally irrelevant.
Michael Irvin had the locker room coked up.
Right. Right, unless you're Ray Caruth, who does something unspeakable and then gets found trying to flee in the trunk of a car. If you got the numbers, you'll get into the Hall of Fame. So we're not even,
even with T.O. and all his antics, man, he finally got in there. He wasn't first ballot. Now, first ballot is different because you said first ballot. First ballot, man, that means you were that guy every season for at least 7-8 years out of your career. Like, you were that guy. Like,
so
to be first ballot.
So check this out, Bruce. I notice you do this a lot, right? You say, it's my opinion. What does that mean? Are you one of those people that believes that because something is your opinion, you can't be wrong? There's a lot of people who have wrong opinions. We got to stop that. It's my opinion. Okay, I respect that you have your opinions, but that does not mean your opinion can't be wrong. There's a lot of people who have very misguided opinions, bro. So you got to think about that.
G had one last night. That opinion was definitely misguided about his Ravens. I'm like, boy, Bruce is over here just knocking balls out the park. This man over here couldn't even field first base.
Oh my goodness.
He was out here waving pom-poms.
Bruce, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying AJ Brown isn't a beast. We totally
he doesn't have 6. He has 4. You're probably looking at total yards. Some of those are probably rushing, brother.
Yeah, nobody's saying the dude is not a beast because he is. But again, like, first ballot Hall of Fame, that is a very, very difficult bar to cross. That's very difficult.
Maybe he's talking about Antonio Brown.
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, in 6 years, AJ Brown has 4 1,000-yard seasons. You're correct.
Yeah,
Transformer.
Not 6.
Yeah, he's probably looking at total yardage. I think you're right. Yards from scrimmage. Yeah, but again, AJ Brown is a problem. So let me be clear. He is nice. Really?
Very, very nice.
Really? Mike Evans not a see. All right, you know what, Bruce? Cool. It's your opinion, man. You got it. I ain't gonna argue with you. Because now you're just saying stuff just to say it, because we know Mike Evans is. If I'm not mistaken, what does he have 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons?
Oh man, I mean the boy could be stopped for like 7-8 years.
Yeah, he's never not had 1,000 yards in his entire time in the NFL. So
without good quarterbacks.
Yeah, like come on, man. There you go. Tyler, great point. Took Andre Johnson 3 tries to get in top 10 receiving yards all time. So, especially at the wide receiver position, that is a tough spot to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Again, nobody's saying you're a bum. Here goes G, man.
Every season. Yeah, every season for Mike Evans. Not even
every season. Let's take this call. Here's G. He about to say something crazy. G, what's good, man?
What's going on, bro?
Ain't nothing.
Transformer, what's up, man?
What's good, G?
Oh, man, not too much, man. Not too much, man. I see you lost your voice.
Does it sound like I lost my voice for real?
Yeah, man. You sound bad over there, man.
I didn't get that.
I don't know why. Maybe it's my mic. I don't know. Maybe it's my mic, brother.
I don't know.
Maybe it's like it sound like you was yelling, though. Sound like you been screaming, you kicking and screaming.
Honestly, you talking about the game. I see what he's trying to do.
He messing with you. He messing with you. I seen that. He trying to set you up and walk you into the trap. He's trying to walk you into the trap, man. He's still mad about about getting exposed as a Swiftie last night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
That was on you, brother. That was on you. I had no part of that one right there, bro. I had no part of it. I didn't even know this.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, we're gonna get it. I'm gonna get the mix of Taylor on that, man. So be on the lookout, brother.
What you got, G?
Well, just watching the game,
mm-hmm.
a little bit that I could watch. It seemed like, it's early in the season, right? A lot of teams starting to see the things that they need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And man, just getting exposed out there on the running game, man. I thought Green Bay was going to be a little bit better at stopping
at the run.
But I think if they can do that later on in the season, they won.
No.
Excuse me.
What you mean?
You thought Green Bay was going to be good at the run game this year?
But stopping the run against the Eagles.
I mean, like with who? Like who do we have to stop the run?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
I think he's saying he was under the impression that the defense would be improved to stop the run.
I was under the impression that you guys would have a run stop game or something for them. And because Bruce couldn't figure out who he wanted to pick yesterday.
I couldn't.
We all knew Mr. Barkley was on the team. But I didn't know he was going to be, that lethal when it comes to, backing Hurts up. It was a really good game, man. But I'm just calling them because you know what? Both of our teams, all our teams on this podcast is
0-1. Yeah.
The whole podcast. Yep. And so a lot of penalties.
That'll change soon.
Yeah. Very, very. Like next week, we'll both be 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it, man. I just called in. I got business, man. I got a lot of shit.
No doubt.
Man, we thank you for serving our country, brother.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Eagles,
but yeah, man,
brother.
I ain't want too much, man. I think the Eagles came out and they punched Green Bay in the face. It was a shootout. It was a shootout, but it pretty much came down to almost the last drive.
It was. It was the last drive. We had a chance.
Yeah. Kind of like same thing with the Ravens yesterday.
Yeah, had a chance.
Yeah.
So Bruce, my bad. I see Bruce got something in the comments here.
Go ahead,
What you got,
G.
G? My bad.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Now I see Bruce saying, got to recap Colorado versus Nebraska tomorrow. We're probably going to do a regular Saturday show tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which will overlap the Colorado-Nebraska game. I'll probably have that on my second screen while we're actually doing the game. So I don't know. I doubt we're actually going to recap it. That'll probably end up getting discussed on
Wednesday
on the show next week when I have Ryan Langford on to do my college football wrap up and look forward. So look forward to that probably next Thursday. We'll probably do that. I might touch it. We might touch on it on the Wednesday show, so we'll see. But probably not going to end up doing a recap on that unless that game is over by the time and we're still on the air tomorrow night doing our normal Saturday night thing. So that's possible.
But tonight.
Say again?
Tonight.
Oh, damn, yeah, tonight. right, tonight. Yeah, Colorado, Nebraska.
Man,
yeah, my bad, G guy.
That's all I had, man. I'm gonna jump off here, man. You guys enjoy your night, man.
All right, bro. Man,
all right, brother. Later. Be safe out there.
All right, Chief.
No doubt.
All right,
Bruce, who you got in the Colorado-Nebraska game? Pretty sure I can guess who you got, but I'd like to know who you got in that one.
We coming.
Edward says my Steelers will be third in the division. Deshaun Watson is not 2020 no more. No, he's not, but I look at it this way. Like, look how good Cleveland was with freaking Joe Flacco last year. You know what I'm saying? So if you can just have a quarterback that's not going to turn the ball over at an alarming rate in Cleveland, that defense is so good, you'll be all right. I knew he was going to say that. Line is quickly moving in Colorado's favor. I'll say Colorado's not going to win that game, man. Nah, that Nebraska wants that game from obviously losing at Colorado last year. Nebraska's got this game at home. I think Nebraska had like a top 40 defense last year, and they're improved again. They have a very solid quarterback. Colorado can't run the football or keep Shedeur Sanders upright. I think Nebraska wins that game, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's the collegiate Patrick Mahomes, ain't it?
Who's that, Shedeur?
No. The Nebraska quarterback. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Oh, Dylan Raiola.
So he looks like Patrick
Mahomes.
He
does. Yeah, he does. But no, I got Nebraska winning this game, man. I think Nebraska is. I'm not gonna say they're back because when they were at their best, man, they were a machine, a buzzsaw in people. But Nebraska was a really good football program, and I think they will be much improved this year. Matt Rule has proven to be a very solid college coach. Terrible in the NFL, but a very solid college coach. Absolutely, yeah. I've always said that. I got Colorado losing that game tomorrow. I don't pick spreads, but just outright, I got them losing that game. So we'll see.
I'm trying to look for the spread without getting on my phone.
Yeah, Tyler says the line is quickly moving in Colorado's favor. I think they just want to try to even that money out. I think that's all that is.
You already know Vegas is going to pull some Vegas type stuff. You already know that.
They got to get it. Vegas. Florida State going to offer Deion a back. Well, you know what? We had a whole long discussion about that the other night, G and I. Yeah, go back and check that out, man. Damn, what you doing? But we had a whole long discussion about possible landing spots for Deion. And it was interesting because my whole thing is when Shedeur's gone, Travis Hunter's gone, Jimmy Horn Jr.'s gone, and and Shiloh Sanders, all of them guys are gone at the same time. And we're not hearing anything from the recruiting trail about Colorado being in line to get any of the top quarterback recruits, right? And so I'm thinking, if I'm Florida State, because they're suffering, Mike Norvell might get fired. Billy Napier, I don't think is going to make it through the season at Florida. I think he's going to get fired. Dabo might, if Clemson has a really bad year, I don't think they're going to fire him, but he might step away. So you got a lot of schools right here, big-time schools in this area where Deion would be a recruiting king, right?
I don't think he goes to Florida, though. I don't think Florida's enough.
Why not? If Florida offers him the money, why wouldn't you? You know you're going to get the players.
I don't know. That pride might stick in his way. Like, come on, I went to Florida State.
Hell nah. So he going to get huge money. They will offer him huge money. The infrastructure's in place. The athletes are there. He knows how to recruit this state. He knows how to recruit the state of Georgia, this whole, southeastern region. He's still going to have the connects in Texas, right? Because he's he lives in Texas. It would be any one of those schools, Clemson, Florida State, Florida. It would be an ideal fit for Deion.
I'm with you on Florida State and Clemson, but Florida, I don't think he makes that turn.
Listen, if Florida fires Billy Napier and they go after Deion, you got to do it. You got to do it if you're Deion. Also, it's funny because G was adamant, not adamant, but he seems to believe that Deion wants to be a package deal wherever Shedeur goes. And I'm like, I was saying that I don't like,
He's getting drafted.
Yeah, but I think he's saying that Deion. I'm like, look, me personally, I don't like that because as Shedeur, at some point, you got to be your own man. You've never been coached by anyone but your dad your entire life, right? That's been your head coach your entire life. And I'm a diehard Notre Dame fan, Edward. You're 100% right.
47 and a half.
I don't gamble, but I think it should be a pretty easy win. But yeah, so the Shedeur thing, at some point, you have to step out of your father's shadow and be your own man, as good as you are. It's problematic. And also, I think there's a benefit to being coached by different people along the way because you get different exposures and different ideas. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, it's like if you lived in the same town your whole life, right? But then you join the military and you get to travel the world and do different things, right? It opens your mind up because now you're seeing different things, experiencing different cultures, languages, foods. So now you see things with a wider lens, right? And if you've had the same coach your entire life, I think to some extent that limits how you see things as a player. And at some point, we're gonna need to find out, can Shedeur play for another coach other than his dad? Excuse me.
I mean, we're gonna find out next year because he's getting drafted.
Yeah,
he's going to the draft, buddy.
That's what I'm saying. But G is like he thinks Deion should be a package deal wherever Shedeur goes, and I'm like, no, Yeah,
you got to eventually leak out on your own, man.
Right? Unless you're Bronny.
Probably leave USC? No,
unless you're Bronny, right?
What was that?
I said unless you're Bronny. You said you got to eventually, do it on your own. I said unless you're Bronny.
He hasn't had the opportunity to do it on his own. Bruce, give the man an opportunity, okay?
Because he's not good enough. But anyway, that's a different story. Lincoln Riley's not leaving USC. You can already see they're not obviously going to win a national championship, but you can obviously see already that they are improved. Just that addition of Dan.
They're going to be relevant.
Defensive coordinator. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the reason why we're talking about Clemson, Florida State, because they're looking like dog water right now.
That's right. That's
like dog water. They got blown out. Florida State, my team lost back-to-back, undefeated, unranked opponents.
Yes.
Florida got mollywopped by Miami.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Clemson got cooked, like I called, against Georgia.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. Lincoln, he beat LSU. So,
right.
And a comeback game, too. It was a comeback game.
And the thing is, Deion is a better fit in this part of the country, too. Like, that works better for him. This is where he's from. This is what he knows. He would think about this, right? Let's say, because I remember 2 years ago, Georgia Tech was looking for a new coach, and I was arguing with my other homeboy. I was like, Georgia Tech's going to call Deion. He's like, Deion, they didn't call Deion. And I'm like, why wouldn't you, right? Because if you're Deion and you get the Georgia Tech job, right, just hypothetically, imagine all these kids that you're recruiting, their fathers are going to say, boy, man, I remember when Deion was playing for the Falcons, you know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 right? That right there is a recruiting tool in of itself. See? Like, you don't have that when you all the way out west on the other side of the country.
He played in Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Right. I mean, yeah, he played for the Niners, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? So, but Deion's contract is loaded up to keep him one more year. He owes Colorado $10 million if he leaves between year 2 and 3 contracts, basically 3 years, $30 million. So he would stick one more year. But see, here's the thing, right, Tyler? We saw A&M paid Jimbo $76 million to go away. And I know it's not the same situation, but there's so much money in these programs now. You think if a program, let's say, like we're talking about Florida, Clemson, Florida State, you're telling me they're not going to pay that money to buy out Deion from his contract if they want him and he agrees to go there? They'll pay that money. Yeah, they'll say, oh, you owe $10 million? Okay,
$30 million is nothing to these guys.
Nothing.
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 They eat that up quick.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh God. You see what your boy has started? Your boy started this transformer.
Don't do that because Ken Griffey Jr. started that. Ken Griffey started that. Okay.
Well, so here's the difference.
No, that's not making a difference.
There is a difference. It happened, but it's not the same thing though. Ken Griffey Jr. didn't. Ken Griffey Sr., excuse me, wasn't a superstar. He didn't get his son drafted. He didn't have weight like that. Ken Griffey Jr. was the superstar, and it so happened Ken Griffey Sr. was there. So let's not do that.
Only question he said, has there ever been a father-son combo on the same team? That's what he asked, man.
No, because it's so hard to stay around long enough in the NFL for that to happen.
You got like a 10-year max.
Well, you know what? It may have happened in some coaching ranks, but wow, this is interesting how we went from Eagles to Packers. Now we're getting into some college, but yeah, we could take a few minutes on this. Yo, I love how this show does that, man. This show it takes on a life of its own, man. That's cool.
That's because we interact with the chat, man. The chat diverts us to a whole different.
It does. So before we so honestly, I see Shedeur going to the Cowboys, man. And I think whether they pay Dak or not, the Cowboys should draft him.
But the thing is, I mean, are they going to trade? They're going to try to trade up. They have to trade up a lot.
They would have to trade up. Or check this out: the Raiders. The Raiders are going to be bad, and they do not have their quarterbacks are Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. So the Raiders are definitely an option.
True. They just drafted Aiden O'Connell last year, didn't he?
2 years ago, something like that.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
From Purdue. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I could like Raiders. That'd be a good look for them.
Yeah. I think that's it. I'm trying to think who else is going to be really bad. I guess Tennessee seems to like what's his name, Mayonnaise Man. You know who I'm talking about.
Will Levis.
Will Levis, yeah. That dude in his mayonnaise. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee, but anyway,
it's gross.
Yeah, and I have no problem with mayonnaise. I put mayonnaise on my sandwiches, but
easy day. But in your coffee, that's serial killer type vibes. Yeah,
facts.
Killer, man. You committed a couple of murders, and we're gonna.
He got somebody buried in the basement. That's huge. Yes, the Giants, but I think that Dion said there are certain teams that Shedeur will not go to, and I don't think number one, I don't think he wants Shedeur necessarily playing in the cold. I think if he could have avoided him going to Colorado, he would have. But obviously, he's the coach there. And also the Giants have not necessarily shown that they're great with developing quarterbacks. Like they got lucky with Eli, and even though Brian Daboll we've seen can develop quarterbacks, right. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think Deion is going to want Shedeur with the Giants.
Will you say that? You think Eli was developed? I just think Eli was just
who me?
Manning. Yeah. I know what you made that face for.
Huh?
I mean, you made a face when.
What are you talking about?
Yes. Okay, never mind.
Oh no. I was probably just thinking, but okay. I think you're right. I don't think he was necessarily developed too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Giants would be a big market for him, but I don't think his dad wants him there, so I don't think it's gonna happen.
Rams. I think the Rams are too relevant.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that, Edward. I can't see Deion Sanders opening the NFL because he talked about he doesn't want to coach grown men. I can't see it happening. Yeah, I think you're right. He doesn't want to coach grown men because I think he would get extremely irritated seeing guys collecting these big checks and not putting the work in like he did. And I don't think he wants to deal with that.
He has like a Jerry Jones type of vibe, and you had that on your sideline. I don't think that's a good look.
That's the other thing, real quick. I'm gonna get you, Tyler, on this Rams. Give me a second. The reason I don't think Dallas, besides coaching grown men, Dallas would be a terrible fit because Jerry Jones does not want anyone that's gonna outshine him in terms of the media.
And Deion will take that over.
Take that over unintentionally.
ASAP.
He won't go there to intentionally do it, but it's just him because he's so magnetic, right?
His aura alone is gonna take over.
Jerry can't deal with that.
To be honest with you, that like even Dallas fans want Jerry gone.
Mm-hmm.
They want that man gone. Like,
you
mean to tell me Deion Sanders, primetime Deion, is about to be our coach? Oh, absolutely. Jerry Jones will be an afterthought. We'll be surprised he able to say anything at the press conference. Like, Jerry, we ain't asked nothing to you.
Yeah, I don't think Jerry cares. He says he wants to win so bad. He don't care about winning. But anyway, Tyler says the Rams. So by the time Shedeur comes out,
bad enough.
What's his name? Yeah, that's the thing. And remember, they traded away all their picks, right? F them picks. So I don't even know if they can trade up to try and get there. Yeah. And but that's an interesting thought because Matt Stafford is pretty much on the way out, right?
Yeah.
He's almost to the end. I think he's got like 2 years left. He's to the end of his rope. So if they could pull that off, that would be good because they still have Cooper Kupp. They still have Puka Nacua. That's not bad. They got Kyron Williams. They got Blake Corum. Like, that would be a decent situation to walk into, even if you got to sit for 1 year. That's not bad at all.
You think the Patriots will be bad enough again?
I mean, but they just drafted Drake May, though. I mean, teams do it. Teams will be like, "Hey, it didn't work. Oh well."
I've seen worse.
But
what team was it that drafted 2 quarterbacks? It was like in back-to-back years. It was in the last 5 years.
Well, shoot.
Was it the Steelers?
Was it?
It was the Steelers. I think it was Mason Rudolph and
Mason Rudolph. Yeah.
It was like in back-to-back years or something like that.
And the crazy part, remember, what is this, 10 years, about 10 years ago, when the Commanders drafted RG3 and Kirk Cousins in the same draft.
So it
happens. You're right. This stuff happens. Wait, what? Bruce, where do you get this stuff?
What's the mistake?
It'll be a huge mistake if Milroe doesn't go number. He being funny. I get it. He being funny. Okay.
So.
He can't be. So. Nah, he can't be serious with that. That's ridiculous.
Don't let the SEC roll tide thing fool you, brother.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Nah, he being funny. Yeah. So yeah, Rams. That's interesting. But you mentioned the Patriots transformer. I can't see that. At all. And again, Dion is probably not going to let his son go there.
Yeah.
Roll Tide, he says. Okay. All right.
This your guy.
Huh?
This your guy.
That's G's guy.
Oh, that's G's guy. I thought it was your guy.
That's G's man, Bruce. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Bruce got some interesting takes.
Bama waters way too hard, brother.
He got some very interesting takes. Why not New Orleans? Who do they have? What's his name? Derek Carr. And if he flames out, they got Spencer Rattler waiting in the wings. But
he got cut.
Rattler got cut?
Yeah, I think Rattler got cut.
No.
Spencer Rattler?
Yeah.
Once he got released already.
Huh. I thought he was like third on the. Oh, you might be right. Yeah, maybe that wouldn't be bad. Wikipedia has him listed as. Well, let me go to Pro Football Reference. Wikipedia has him listed as the Saints. Pro Football Reference. All right, let's see.
At one point.
Maybe they send him to the practice squad and then brought him back up.
Could be. That also could be true.
Yeah. Spencer Rattler. Yeah, this has him listed. Saints. Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
Pro Football Reference has him on with the Saints. So Notre Dame is the. Where did Notre Dame come from?
I'm not.
What was that?
Where did Notre Dame come from? I'm thinking about the wrong quarterback. Who was it that got released? It was somebody else. I'll think about it. I don't think it was.
And as much as I hate to admit it, Bruce, that's probably a pretty fair assessment. But I'm just curious to know, like, where did Notre Dame come from in this? We weren't even talking about them. But yeah, so that's a pretty
all
fair
the Cowboys of the college football program.
Mm-hmm. Hasn't gotten it done in a very long time, but still gets a whole lot of attention. That's fair.
But at least they've been there in the last 25, 20
that is true.
Years.
Yep, that's true. In the last 5 years.
2012, 2013? No, later than that.
In 2012, they played for the national championship, got beat by Alabama. And in the last 6 years, they've been in 2 of the 14 playoffs. So, you know.
Yeah. So that's not quite Dallas.
So yeah, that's a little different than Dallas. That's a little
like the
different.
the Saints of college football. Got you a championship. Well, no, they actually won it. You got to be there, not win it, then come back. Let me see. The Atlanta Falcons of football.
I don't know, man.
No,
I don't know.
I'm gonna think of one. I'm gonna get a good one.
Yeah, I mean the Falcons. Yeah, the Falcons went. They went to the.
They went there.
Beat. Yeah,
and then they kind of been relevant with Matt Ryan for all them years.
Yeah, that might be a better analogy. Yeah. But I think I know what Bruce is talking about in terms of, the national media attention, but not winning in a very long time.
Oh, absolutely.
I kind of get that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. When the last time y'all won? I'm not being
88.
funny. That's
88.
88. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is quite a while.
Yeah, it's a long time, man. It's a long time.
That's a good minute.
Yep. But what's crazy though? Here's the crazy part, right? Until Georgia won, was that 3 years ago? They had.
They had like a 30-year drought, 40 years.
They hadn't won since '82, but nobody was mentioning it.
Oh, I was all over Georgia for
that
2-3 years ago.
Me crazy, but yeah, I can't say anything.
My
now.
uncle Pope out there in South Carolina, man, he's a huge. I'm talking.
Okay, I got
doing all that type Bulldog fan. I'm like, oh man, I've been alive for 34, 30. Well, at this time, 32, 31 years at that time. I ain't never seen them in there, man.
Right. And that's what I used to tell people. I'm like, yo, you all talk about Notre Dame, but Georgia, but obviously that one's out the window. I can't use that one anymore.
Yeah, especially back to back. Like,
that's over. That's over.
All
right, man. Let's go ahead and wrap it up right here, man. I think we can call it. So, good night, Eagles versus Packers. The NFL season is well underway. And for those of you who are college football fans, tomorrow we got a couple of big ones tomorrow night. As we mentioned, we have Colorado and Nebraska, I think at 7 p.m. That's on Peacock. And I think on NBC is going to be Michigan and Texas. Texas at Michigan at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. So
no, 12. They got the noon game tomorrow.
They got the noon game?
Yeah,
I thought that was a night game.
No, they got the noon game.
Oh, I'm bugging. Okay, I thought that was a night game. All right.
Well, you would have missed the hell out of that.
Bad information on it. I'd have been so hot.
You think Ohio State West Michigan is at 7:30? That game is at 7:30, but no, Texas and Michigan.
Which is odd because that's normally a noon game. But you're right.
Yeah, that should be a noon game.
So that Texas Michigan, that's going to be the big noon kickoff. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the big noon game. All right. Okay, so I stand corrected. Thanks to the Transformer. Y'all go ahead. If you're a college football fan, please enjoy that Michigan and Texas at noon tomorrow. And Colorado and Nebraska is at 7 p.m. on Peacock. And if you're an Irish fan like myself, go Irish. You can watch on Peacock, I think at 3, Notre Dame and Northern Illinois. So, yep. Those are the ones.
Right now the spread is -28, so that's 4 touchdowns, guys. Go ahead and make your bets.
Right.
You're gonna turn it off at halftime. I already know it.
Yeah. I might have to hop in on the Florida A&M Miami game. That's at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And I really only care because my daughter's a Rattler now, so I got.
Oh, is she a Rattler?
Yeah, she's at FAMU.
Yep. Yes, congrats.
Yeah. So I got a rep for her. All right, y'all. I guess that's it. We're not gonna have any more calls. I appreciate everybody who showed up tonight to kind of kick it with us in our wrap up, our late night wrap up after the game. If you haven't already and you're here, please make sure you click that like and that subscribe on the way out. And if you enjoy the show, which I think some of y'all do because I see some of y'all in here very regularly, make sure y'all sharing the show with other people. Let's get some new blood in the chat and let them know how we do it here on the Format Podcast. All right. So, that's it. And, I'm about to go crash, get some sleep, and I'm out.
Oh, absolutely. It's drill weekend, baby.
All right, y'all. If I hit the button. There we go. Oh, it's still on.
It's still on.